Vipassana.
10-day silent meditation retreat.
If I'm gonna be in pain every day, how the fuck am I gonna manage this?
You go through those fears, you go into those fears.
How do I find 10 days? How do I get out of my life? How do I not have the phone for 10 days, right?
Sounds, vision, even like my eye vision is improved after 10 days.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hey.
So this is Alex, and this is Ilya.
Hey, I'm really glad to be here and talk about our current experience.
Yeah, so the reason we gathered here and the reason you guys listening to this, hopefully that will be interesting, is that, usually August is the time for kind of, unwinding, relaxation, whatever it is. And, we both went through an alternative kind of way to recharge, alternative vacation, which is called Vipassana. And, it really made such a big impression on me personally that I really wanted to kind of have a chat with someone about this experience. I have also wrote kind of a very, long and comprehensive guide to this whole thing on my blog, and I'm going to link this. So today I don't really want to personally kind of, bore you guys with all the details and like the history, etc. But instead just chat about our personal experiences, right? And try to tailor it to mostly entrepreneurs, like founders, tech people, investors maybe, folks who, like we, are pretty stressed, have a lot of contacts, task switch, and etc. So yeah, that's why we're here. Do you want to add anything here?
Yeah. So I also had this experience this August, like for 10-day silent meditation retreat that we're gonna probably talk more right now. Yeah. And that was second time experience for me, and each time, like first and second one, became like really different. So I definitely would like to share on how was it for me. It's completely probably different for everyone, and how I'm curious to know how it was for you, Alex. And and especially how is that important, or maybe not important, for founders, for people in a like high intense environment. How is that important, either just to meditate itself, or maybe to learn some practice, or go for this intensive 10-day experience?
Yeah. All right. So before we begin, maybe just a couple of words about ourselves, right? Because I'm pretty sure not everyone who's going to be listening to this or seeing this are going to know us. So again, I'm Alex. I am a repeat AI entrepreneur. I've been, in the game for the last, 8-9 years now. I'm currently running SoulCap. We're a YC company. We're basically helping currently founders, investors, and entrepreneurs to get more value out of their network for fundraising, business development, hiring, and whatnot. As part of our kind of giving back to the community, I'm regularly hosting conversations like this. Super happy for Ilya to be here.
Thank you, Alex. So I'm Ilya, and I'm a current startup founder in a sustainability clean tech space. We develop like new material for furniture and construction. Where most of my previous background came from software and startups before that, and so right now I'm currently mostly involved in this. At the same time, I'm meditation practitioner, focus a lot on my mental health state and just my general health state, and I think that is also important for me, not just only for my own needs and myself, but also for me being present and in my current state for people I have work with, or like my close friends or my relatives, etc. So like just being present for people around me. That's also important to take care of myself.
Totally. Cool. So I suggest that we start by basically kind of giving a no bullshit kind of overview of what Vipassana is for us and like how do we even like get to that. So I'll start. For me, I've always been a big fan of just exploring myself, and I've been into meditation since 2020, I think, like more or less, and I've been pretty active with it for year and a half, 2 years, specifically back in the time when I was kind of mostly doing this according to like shelling practices, because I spent quite some time kind of learning from one of the shelling monks, Shiksumi, or his other name, earthly name, Walter Georgia. Kudos to him. But then I kind of fell off, from the routine, and with Vipassana, I heard about it, from a bunch of friends who completed those 10-day courses, and basically, those courses are, you go to a place, it's all offline, you give up a lot of your stuff, give up your phone, internet, and whatnot. And you learn this technique, because Vipassana is basically a meditation technique, and you get to learn it, you get to practice it a lot, and so in kind of my own understanding, my own words, Vipassana is kind of just this way of getting much more intimate with your body, with your bodily sensations. Kind of, instead of just never not noticing it, which was the case, I think throughout most of my life. I haven't really been like, paying too much attention to my body, and I was mostly in my mind. So first, it's like a way to get really into that, deep into that, practice it. And then second, get value from it. And kind of the value I got mostly resulted from me not reacting to sensations that I was observing. So that kind of, in very simple words, what kind of Vipassana was for me is just like, learning how to observe and not react, whether it's something painful or, really negative and like hard to bear. And I'm going to tell a story related to that later. Or whether it's like, something really cool and pleasure. Pleasure, something I could crave, right? So that's what Vipassana was for me, kind of, learning this technique, and through that, allowing myself to kind of, start purifying the mind, as they call it, but, it's actually just freeing it up from a lot of those kind of accumulated thoughts, which, are not really useful. They are, probably just slowly poisoning whatever you have going. I think that's mostly it. How about you?
So for me, Vipassana is for me is a mind training according to the main law of nature, that everything is impermanent. So, and it just keeps training through this technique yourself, my mind, that everything is impermanent. Either it's good or bad. It's impermanent, and just observing it. And you learn it from doing it, like observing sensations on your body, not something around, not something externally, and just observing my own reality. And especially this, my second Vipassana retreat in August, I especially found that that this is like a reality. So like sensations in my body, this is the only one reality. So there is no other reality for me at all. So the only one, and I'm just basically embedded into the matrix. Maybe it sounds like, I watch too much Matrix, but that is like we each have our own realities. Even looking at one person, talking at the same person, we all of us like experience different emotions, sensations, and everything. And just observing it without like reacting and is important skill, or it's important way of being as well. Like because I've been practicing for about like a year and I learned more to observe my sensations like right in the moment, not just only sitting with the closed eyes, but also when I walk or maybe when I listen to someone. It helps me to be present in the moment, especially like I have some kind of attention deficit issues, and if I sit with someone and listen to and I find myself like losing attention, I just return my attention to observing sensations on my feet, or maybe like my breath, normally feet, because it's like ground, and I start from there. And it returns me back, for example, to conversation. So I literally, even observing at the same time my sensations, I started better being present and listening to a person I'm talking to. So for me, Vipassana is especially this thing. It's also like a tool for not only calming down and going through different hard emotions, like layering them off. For example, if there is something I'm really worried about and I cannot focus on my work, it might be that there is something like on a deep level of my mind that I just need to observe. It can be like relationship-wise, which is pretty much often its important part, or it can be anything else. And sometimes it also helps me to make decisions. Like I just observe my sensations on some particular topic. Like I'm not observing on some particular topic, I'm just sitting down and there is something that I'm worrying, and there are like thoughts, memories, or maybe thoughts into the future, and I just observe it. And probably maybe at the end of one session, 2 sessions, several sessions, I find myself more connected to what is really mine, and instead of like doing reactive decisions, I just getting closer to make it more and more like act decisions. So don't react, act.
Yeah, that's something I noticed upon coming back, and kind of switching gears a little bit to, I guess, practical kind of benefits of going there. I noticed a couple for myself, kind of speaking of this topic of not reacting. There were a couple of times where, as it normally is, being a founder, shit happens, right? And negative stuff happens. I'll give you one specific example. I needed to go to the governmental office to apply for one thing that I really need right now, and I wasn't expecting anything to go wrong, because everything was nailed. And then funnily enough, there was a mistake in the database that they didn't have a couple of things there.
As often.
Yeah, and so I was like, immediately I called my helper, and I know that I was annoyed. I felt annoyed, but then 5-10 minutes later, I realized, I don't really want this to influence me, and I also felt a little bit sorry for me. Again, I didn't verbally assault anyone, but I know that I sounded a little bit pissed off, right? Because I was caught off guard. And this resonated with me because so during Vipassana, this main guy who popularized it, right, Goenka, you listen to his discourses, to his talks, and one of the things that he mentioned that resonated with me at the end was that the way you're going to progress with this, with non-reacting, is that you're probably going to decrease the time that you need to acknowledge that a reaction has been pushed out, right? Ideally, you probably should skip this altogether, but even if you decrease the time from 8 hours to 15 minutes, that would be a huge improvement, because that will allow you to not continue poisoning your life with those extra negative emotions based on the existing negative emotions, right? Mm-hmm. So I kind of already started feeling that in my daily life, and I really enjoy that. What are some of the things that you've noticed you've changed when you came back from your first Vipassana back in the day?
I did my first Vipassana just a year ago, And actually, when I went to my first Vipassana, my request for myself was just basically to learn some meditation technique, as I've been doing some meditation, and I wanted maybe to get more calm and focused and have some technique. And after my first experience, I just felt like, at that time I felt like better than ever before, because it's like everything was not so noisy in my brain, and everything is just so sharp, sounds, vision, even like my eye vision is improved after 10 days, because it's just stressed out from looking at my phone, and I'm just looking for 10 days somewhere far during walks.
And you probably also realize that having so much time, you want to practice some of the good habits a little bit more. Because I don't know about you, but I also started noticing sometimes when I was okay, I'm just lying down. Why don't I do some eye gymnastics? Well, normally in daily life, it's just harder to just find the time for that. Right?
Yeah. So for me, after that Vipassana first experience, I focused to practice it daily, and I kept it almost daily for about 4 or 5 months.
So how long have you practiced daily?
So I've been practicing for 4 or 5 months after first Vipassana.
No, how many hours a day?
Oh, how many hours?
Because they recommend 2 hours a day, right?
Yeah.
1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening.
No.
How did you approach it?
Yeah, I approached it I've been doing almost around 1 hour. Normally it's around 50 minutes. I just turn on this audio and I sit down. So after that time, after 5 months, I started practicing class. Sometimes it's 30 minutes or even less. It's still good, but I found that normally it takes around, it depends, but 20 to 30, 35 minutes just to calm the mind, and qualifying, I would say, or maybe just high quality kind of just meditation state maybe can happen later. I mean, when I truly observe my sensations.
Are you talking about the so-called free flow, when you are feeling?
I'm not even talking about free flow. It can be free flow when you observe, but it's just being more present.
Yeah.
And the real work starts for me is after normally 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. So making meditation for 45, 50 minutes is already the good job. Well, sometimes it's less than 30 minutes. And now I'm trying to push myself a bit more for this 1 hour meditations. It's at least one in the morning. It's really important. Or it can be in the middle of the day, but it's important to have this. It's called aditanya. A strong determination when you just sit, don't move, and don't distract. That's the most important. So now after my August retreat.
And by the way, a funny thing was that it was a complete coincidence, but we went to the same center.
Yeah.
Basically, in the adjacent batches, right? You went,
maybe you were in
13 days before me. So I was in C5. Which room were you in?
Yeah, I was B4.
You were B.
Oh no, I was C. Yeah, I was C.
Which C? Was it in the middle?
No.
No, okay. Yeah. I was near the manager's room. And I made a mistake. I moved in the wrong room, and then a person came, and I was like, sorry, I'm already moved in. So I needed to change the room again. But so we went to the same center, and so that was a really funny coincidence. And so
and it's really incredible center. You have full comfort.
How is it compared to the first one you went to?
The first one I was in Israel, and that was also I was really impressed. But there I was sharing the room with 2 other guys. So here you have individual rooms, which is not so often in centers.
Yeah. For me, that was a deal breaker, honestly, because both the history of this whole thing and kind of a more deep detailed experience is in my post. I'm going to link it But for me, kind of having an individual room was a deal breaker, mainly because I used it to practice also some kind of mix of yoga slash exercises, and like that really helped me to go through it. Because if I wouldn't have this opportunity, if I was living with some other people, I guess I would have practiced meditation a little bit more, because there were hours where you like absolutely needed to practice, and then there were hours where you could practice here and there, and then take a rest.
Sometimes sleep.
Yeah, sometimes sleep. Yeah, but so I felt that was important for me. So yeah, for whoever thinking about applying, I really recommend kind of checking which centers have individual rooms, because for me that was a big one.
Yeah, that was good to have individual rooms. However, for my behavior, I didn't find much difference. It's the same for me. I was in Israel sharing the room, and maybe not much doing meditation at some point, or still I was doing some yoga. So yeah, of course, when you have individual space, that's definitely different. But here in this center, for example, they also have in Poland. They have individual cells that are available for those ones who are so-called old students, and
second time more, right?
Yeah, second time more. So those ones who pass at least one course, and I've been assigned to one of those meditation cells by teacher, and it's really convenient. So you can go to some individual space which is not your room and not meditation hall, and you can practice there. But it depends. For someone, sometimes going to meditation hall is better, even you're not required to. So because there are some other people meditating, and there is more
social pressure.
Yeah,
connection,
accountability.
Accountability.
Yeah. So Israel Vipassana Center is amazing. I've been also in one in California, but I haven't been doing
Have you just been visiting?
No, I've been doing serving between courses for 3 days in the center in the south of California. It's a really small, nice center. All those centers I've been to are really amazing. Food is great, and but it also depends on how many people involved in serving. But in Israel, food was amazing.
Yeah.
I was so impressed that so much fresh. It's a vegetarian.
Yeah.
It's vegetarian. However, after maybe second, third day, at least me, and I see that many other people start being more creative sometimes with the food. Yeah. How you can mix the same basic things that you have
in different ways.
Yeah, so in Israel, one of the difference was that they had a lot of spices, so you had more creativity.
In Poland, there were many spices. When I was given the donation, and that's an important part of this whole movement, because participation is free, so you want to give back. I explicitly asked them to somehow communicate that, okay, guys, we need more spices at the end of this Swedish table in order to be able to have more variety. But and speaking of this, I want to share one more kind of benefit that I got from going to this retreat. So basically, the way it's all organized is that for 10 days you're stripped from most of the dopamine bringing kind of things you are usually really used to, and that really helps to reset a lot of those kind of pathways in your brain, kind of reset those behavior patterns. And when you come back, it's so much easier to change things, whether it's for example, for me, I'm currently approaching this idea of only doing leisure news information checking once a day. I know it's going to be hard, but I have strong kind of desire to kind of make this happen. And I think that's a big benefit of it. It's not directly kind of the result of the Vipassana, although Vipassana helps, like practicing and clearing your mind helps, but just the fact of you being stripped for 10 days and all these things, it's really helpful.
How is your practice now?
So I decided to practice meditation itself for 1 hour per day, 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening. And probably the most important thing that I kind of changed for myself upon coming back is the kind of sleeping routine. I realized that I want to have more stuff done in the morning, and so I shifted my routine to waking up at 6 and going to bed at 10.
That's one of the things that you can get from Vipassana.
Yeah, because you wake up at like 4 something. And so so far it's been like 4 or 5 days I've been practicing about an hour per day, and I like intend to keep doing this for as long as I can, because again, like for me, this whole thing was also about just learning this technique, right? It's not about just going there and just forgetting about it, but learning the technique and practicing it. And I'm also very interested to see how I'm going to experiment with it, because as I also like outlined in my post, a lot of the things about this, kind of retreat, about this course were great. There were some things which I was a little bit missing, or I'm curious how they do. We both love sauna, right? And I'm very curious to like meditate in the sauna like this, right? Or like, to try more kind of body temperature changing things related to Vipassana. I'm also interested to experiment with like, again, doing longer meditations versus like once a day, doing 1 hour per day and then 5 minutes in the evening, versus kind of splitting this up. So yeah, let's see how it goes. But I made this strong decision to like meditate at least an hour per day, and I can like maybe if things happen, I can maybe like not do this for a day, or do less than an hour, for a day. But then like 2 days would be like a red card in soccer and football, and that's unacceptable. So I need to like find the time to do this.
And the good thing, after you pass the 10-day course, you can actually go to some, rarely, but not often, there are some like 3-day courses. Sometimes there are even like in some centers, like they all over the world, and you can go for 1-day course. So if you complete the 10-day course in one location, you can actually go to you can go to any other. You can serve, which is also especially for me, serving is a great experience, because I've done it twice, one for 1 day and just on a weekend, and one for 3 days, which is also great because you don't have to give up like so much time, but at the same time you return to environment. You practice 3 times per day with like nice people around you, also giving back. And cutting like I had when I was cutting I don't know, maybe 20 pounds or like 40 kilograms, many kilograms of like cucumbers, some beetroots, something, and just cutting it in the kitchen is kind of also like meditating thing. So I was enjoying it, and after some time last year I've done it like maybe 10 times during the year, but I try to make it more often, or maybe even a weekly routine, is that I use Saturday for my own Vipassana kinda. So what it means, I turn off completely all the devices. During the day I try to make a couple meditations, maybe do some walk, even, well, it's not perfect Vipassana, I do still like homework, or maybe some chores, something like
around
that.
The house,
maybe like prepping some food. So and that's really, really helpful, because it helps me to recharge like on a weekly basis. So no communication with other people except maybe cashier if I go to buy some grocery, but I try not to do that. But it's really helpful. Like, and I recommend doing something like that. And I found the difference when when I do this like 24-hour, like completely from the morning I don't turn on my mobile device or any other until the morning on Sunday, versus when I made it like half of the day, like from 12 p.m. or maybe 3 p.m. or maybe I use my phone for navigation. It's still good, and of course it's better to minimize the interaction with the social world, etc., like gadgets. But it's also completely different if I just completely turn off everything, do the meditations, etc., and do some journaling. Actually, maybe I'd like to share. But first, I'll ask you what was your hardest part during your experience? How can you describe your hardest moments, and especially maybe dopamine wise, what were you craving for? Maybe what
so a couple of
emotions,
couple of things. I'll start on the dopamine. I actually realized, and I guess it's good for me. I actually realized that there aren't actually like things that I like, specific things that I crave. It's more like I want them, but it's good that I haven't like really felt sick because I didn't have anything. So I was like, chill. But I really, towards the end especially, I really felt like I just got bored with just being there, being at the center, just not having, I guess, freedom, not being able to like trespass, the area of the course. It wasn't, again, like I felt like I could do this for more, right? But it was like, I would love to get out. Because every day I was kind of counting days, I was thinking, okay, how many days are left?
Same.
So that was probably the only thing that was like major, and I was surprised because I thought that I would be desiring more things, but it felt okay. But kind of the main realization, basically, as you were sharing this, I started feeling pain in my legs, right? Okay. And that's kind of a very practical aspect of what this whole is about. Is like how do you not react to this pain because you realize that this will go away, right? It's not a permanent pain. As soon as we finish with this recording, I'll stand up, I'll walk for a few minutes, and this would go away. I'll probably forget about it. But during the course, on the third day, I was close to dropping out. I was close to dropping out because I started feeling kind of non-permanent, but like strong pulsating pain in my sinus. And that was at the time when you were not practicing Vipassana yet, but you were practicing a meditation technique called Anapana, when it's basically observing your breath and this little triangular area. And so basically it was, all you were supposed to do is just observe this area, and it was really close to the sinus. And it was like I was having pain. And I felt really agitated because of that. I was thinking, can I go through, this is pain, what if I'm sick? And then I then I decided to okay, let's take this day by day. I'll try to observe it till the end of the day. Then next morning I'll see what to do about it. And somehow through meditation, I changed my approach to this. I actually realized, okay, I can observe it. It's pain. I don't like it, but I somehow actually changed my approach to what I would do. Because before, I think if I would get such a pain, I wouldn't panic and everything, but it would start making some kind of toll on me to the point where I would just start to be anxious. I would start to be stressed. I would start to be maybe a little bit angry, because I would start kind of pushing this out. Okay, I'm having pain. I want to think about it. I'm I need to do something about it, but never observe and like try to be like really with it, with the pain. And actually on the fourth day, on the fifth day, it started going away, and it went away. And the way I'm explaining this for myself is that I probably kind of, because of spending too much time on this area, somehow my brain was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you like spending so much time on this area? And maybe there were some like muscle memories or something which like activated in order to make me stop doing this, right? But yeah, it was really interesting, and that kind of made me reevaluate again, like how I react to pain, right? How I react to those things. And that was certainly the worst moment, because like on the third day you still have a week left, and you're like, like if I'm gonna be in pain every day, how the fuck am I gonna manage this? Like, it's not easy. But I went out on the last day and felt satisfied. How about you?
So for me, this second experience was pretty much different from the previous one. It was way more intense on my unconscious, like especially. So I had some previous like work. Like right before that, I was working with a therapist on some EMDR sessions, which is kind of it's a trauma fixing therapy that works with changing memories from the past to something new. And it's also one of the effects after this is that it can increase this particular trauma topics more in dreams and other unconscious state. So I had this very intense unconscious thoughts like during meditation, during most of the days, especially after and it's quite interesting, before going to Vipassana, I was like, I want that during Vipassana meditation I will be challenged from like questioning myself regarding my purpose, like on what I'm working for, like is that the right thing? And the thing is that if I'm craving this, I'm not actually getting those thoughts much, and because it starts like taking the layers out of me of something that stands before that. Like in my experience, it was mostly like relationship wise, like some of the hard moments of different my relationships through years, going down to like my teenage time, etc. And like self-confidence questions, and like everything that I like. Why are those questions in my brain right now here? And I just need to observe it. And it was like pretty much overwhelming at some point for me. Even on this experience, I first time got some. It was just a one moment for, I don't know. At one meditation, I catch some hallucinations. I share this to teacher, but it's just intense work. So, and it's important to stay during this work there. Even like every day, I feel like, oh, maybe I can just leave on second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh day. But especially it's very important during this intense period to stay there and observe because with this I just made a huge work on my something that was traumatizing for me in my past, and now I feel way more like calm, confident on those things. They just don't bother me a lot. But it was so much intense that around 8th day I was like, I want to get back to conscious state. I don't want more of my unconscious. I just want to be in my brain for some time. Stop it. Like, not just because it really stopped, but just overwhelmed, just tired. Like, and there are a couple of things I was actually breaking. One of the rules I was breaking is actually during this Vipassana. But it was conscious decision for me. This time I haven't done this before, but this time I've done it. Is to write down the journal. So because you cannot actually
you cannot write anything.
do the writing, drawing, etc. But I decided to do that and write like my visions, what I've seen, or what I seen in my dreams or in my meditations, or also just what's going on with my state, just recording and the progress, what's going on. And I know why breaking this rule maybe is not good, because at some point it could be like a form of to sublimate, and to get out of those hard emotions into just writing. But I think that it was important for me to do that this time. I shared 25 pages of all that to my therapist, and I just can get back and see what happened. I don't know really much to get back, but it was important to make this for me.
I get it. I was thinking about this, but I decided that for the first time I want to adhere to what they say, because again, like, who am I to judge what they teach? But I actually think that if I come back, I would probably take something to make notes with me. I'm not sure if I'm going to be making a lot of notes, but
everything you need, actually,
because it's all about experimentation.
And everything you need will stay with you, actually. You will remember, you will keep it. But also it's important, if whatever rule you break, whether it's, I don't know, for a full student taking some fruit or sugar during the tea time, when you probably cannot do that. It's important. Well, if you do that because you cannot hold this high pressure, that's also kind of fine. We are not Buddhas yet. We're not Buddhas anyways. So and it's important to take care of yourself. If you feel that it's hard and you need some kind of this support, that's fine. But also it's important, and I've been talking with teacher about it, it's important on what kind of state of mind you have when you do something that looks like craving. So it might look like craving, but each action can feel different. So if you do that from the balance of your mind, if you do that from like you observe your sensation and you act, not react. It can be eating a fruit, it can be writing a thing, it can be breaking any other rule, which is not really breaking if you're not breaking it in your mind. But of course, for the first courses, you still need to train, and in the future you still need to train so you get to those things when you act from calm state of mind and make decisions.
Sure. So I want to switch gears a little bit and try to cover the topic of why do we recommend for other entrepreneurs to do this, and also maybe cover some of the most common questions I personally received when I was sharing about my experience. Was there anything like you wanna start with?
I'll start quickly and maybe give you the time that here to share. So I think that so for entrepreneurs, there are multiple things. You can calm your brain down, and it helps you to actually minimize time on making decisions, because when you have so many decisions to make, we spend a lot of time on either taking a look at them a lot, like observing those thoughts and just washing them like continuously. Should I do this or that? Should I do this or that? Should I do this or that? Sit down into the 1 hour meditation and you will find it in just 1 hour, probably. Like if it's not like life-changing question, 1 hour like would be enough to find it. Sometimes even to life-changing questions it might happen, but on calming down the mood and observing your sensations and feeling what's really important for you is the reason I totally recommend to make Vipassana for. But also But also I think it just the way of connecting on your path, on your road with yourself, if you do the startup, and you might find the answer for yourself inside your body and your sensations. You might find the answer that you might didn't want to truly look at them. It may be the answer that this is not your path, this is not something you do. But it also can be the answer that this is your path, or maybe this is your path that you need, maybe just do something slightly different. But you start being more honest and truly with yourself. It doesn't mean exactly, breaking everything in your life. And well, I think some people have this fear, and I had this fear before I was going to my first Vipassana and second Vipassana, that, I'll go to Vipassana, and after 10 days, I might become a completely different person that would like to change whole my life. I will just get rid out of everything. I will, travel to some other country. I will get rid out of my startup and everything. But that actually it doesn't happen maybe that way. And it's very important also not to make urgent decisions right at the time. It just it's a period of practicing and changing. If you need to make some decisions, you will probably make it later, but you will make it from the state of acting, not reacting.
Yeah, I get
That's
that.
important. So, what are your thoughts, like as a founder as well, on like how it? You've been like already 10 days after it's finished, right?
No, 4 days.
Oh, 4 days.
It's for you about 2 weeks, I think.
Oh, yeah. But
for me, it's 4 days.
It's 4 days. So, anyways, like, how do you feel right now on your decisions? What do you think? Do you find something for yourself that you would like, to adjust or?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I have a bunch of things I started changing as kind of habit patterns or approaches. I'm gonna make a separate post on that, I think, following some time as I see what works, what doesn't, because I feel like, it's one thing to make this strong decision to do something, it's another thing to actually follow up through, right? But when it comes to do I recommend this experience to other founders, to other entrepreneurs? Absolutely. And I feel like it would be helpful for a lot of people to approach this, because one of the most common objectives is how do I find 10 days? How do I get out of my life? How do I not have the phone for 10 days, right?
Actually 12.
Yeah, more like 11 definitely, right? But yes, with the road it might be 12, but it's more or less 11 days without the internet and something.
It's true.
And how do you deal with that? The way I liked to think about it, and the way I suggest others to think about it, is to treat this first as part vacation. You take some of your vacation days and you feel less guilty about it, and part as actually investment, because even though you kind of invest those days, I anticipate that I'm gonna get back at least the same amount of days back on increased productivity through being more focused and getting more done, and being less kind of all over the place, because every person has those moments where it's you are too tired, and then whatever, or in between meetings, or you haven't structured your day properly, and you end up wasting a lot of time. You're thinking, a lot of people are thinking, oh, we don't have time for this, we don't have time for this. I always call bullshit. I say, everyone has time. It's just about what kind of priorities you have.
Yeah, sure.
So if someone says, I don't have time for this, I'm like, sure, whatever. You're just probably kidding yourself.
What have you done for the last 12 days?
Yeah.
Is it every 12 days you've done so incredible work?
Yeah. Or let's take a look at it, regular day.
Yeah.
Most likely they have a couple of hours where they just waste their time, right?
Yeah.
Which is fine, but Vipassana is all about actually, again, being more aware of this. And as you go out, especially if you continue practicing, it's just easier to like notice that, like, notice, okay, like I feel tired, I took my phone, why the hell do I need this? Like, let me just go for a walk, let me just like take rest for 15 minutes and then come back, or like let me restructure my day, let me get rid of stuff that kind of
getting rid of stuff is like important part, because I think you said you get more things done. I think after like and continuously practicing Vipassana, I can say that I can do less things, which is not because like doing less because of the procrastination, but doing less because I'm being able to get rid of more things that are not important.
Like bringing more results, right? So doing more, not in terms
like
of the
I'm just
quantity,
starting
but the
doing
quality.
things that are more important. You just find out truly things that are more important and getting rid of things that are not.
Yeah. And so, I mean, like this objection, I feel like, if people like Jack Dorsey and others can like find the time for this, like most likely you can too. And, if when you go out for 10 days, your team cannot handle the responsibilities, which, you obviously need to prepare for, then do you have a good team? Like, what the hell? Like, if those people are not self-sustainable to do this, then probably like you need to change something that's bigger than you. And so again, like, a lot of people who are like, without me, this would die or whatever, they're probably kidding themselves, because like maybe this works now, but why are you doing this in this way? If without you everything would break, and you think that everything would break, right? Because actually in the course with me, because on the last day you were allowed to talk to people, there were a bunch of entrepreneurs actually, like not startup entrepreneurs, but just regular entrepreneurs, like doing all kinds of businesses, and I actually quite enjoyed it. And it's great that a lot of people, like busy people, are coming to places like that.
And you challenge kind of your external environment, whether it's your household or your business. You challenge it for how it will stay without you. And you challenge yourself how you can trust your people, your team, your mates, and then you come back, and if you find that everything stays there and everything is fine, it's just a good also training when you find out that maybe I can actually spend my more time on some other things, like I can prioritize maybe strategic work, or maybe I can do like
do more things that you want to do versus just the visibility of work, right? Which a lot of people have, just showing that I work. I have like I'm always having not anxiety, but like negative emotions when I'm thinking about those like startup founders from Silicon Valley, which are having like 15 calls a day. I can also do 15 calls a day, but like, I would not feel good after that, because I would just feel exhausted and everything, even though I love talking to people, but I don't want to do this like on a regular basis. And so kind of, I think it's important to like also take a look at this culture, this picture from a more conscious angle, and think, okay, like how do I want this, or do I want a more, I don't know, like it's not also about the balance, but it's more about, okay, how do I find the approach that's best for me? And for me, what's best is having, for example, a first half of the day reserved for work instead of reserved for calls, right? And reserved for things which are urgent, etc. So because you become more conscious with yourself, so because you see how your body reacts and behaves. It takes time for not just 10 days, it takes time for years, but it's a good way to start, and it's never late. It's never late, especially I'm saying, because I don't know like how was it on your course, but on my course I've seen, on each course I see elderly people, sometimes like 60 plus, like sometimes even 70 years old, sometimes they come like first time even. Yeah, it takes a lot of guts, I think, to come with
They don't sit maybe usually like as I sit right now with the crossed legs and maybe sit on a chair, which is fine, but they still do this meditation practice.
I agree. And maybe one other thing I'll mention here, which is not directly this kind of productivity, porn advice, etc., but I feel like this ideas behind the movement, again, like more on the history, because that's all like a Buddha teaching you can find in the post, but kind of what resonated with me is this idea of basically kind of serving others, and kind of being more conscious about this. And during the last day, you learn this metta meditation technique, love and kindness technique. And it's not necessarily about the technique, but about this idea of more, I guess, also like entrepreneurs, like wealthy people with money, realizing that like, okay, like even if you have money, it's like, you know, you don't really need that much money. And like, you know, start thinking more about how you can use this money for the benefit of others as well, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, anyone who goes through, like, you know, you can't help it, but you just get more into this movement, into those ideas, and less selfish, right? You just like you basically kind of, you know, try to push this selfishness out of you, right? And you know, think more about the stuff you can give for others. I think that's really important.
Yeah, because like giving out is something that you learn on one of the last days. And giving out is incredible thing. It's like we can talk about it as a kind of miracle what happens, because when I try to give out to people more, like when it goes really from the deep level of my will, I really want to, you know, do something for others and help. Somehow it returns back. It may sound like I don't know how it returns back, but it returns back in different things, and especially if I'm not craving for this return. Because people feel that they want to give back, or maybe they do it other way, or maybe other people give to you back. You just generate this vibration from yourself or of the person that people want to connect with, want to build a relationship with, and that's something I found from the last year very important for me, and I want this turn into relationship in the business, whether it's with investors or others. So I build those relationships with people who see my energy and they match with this energy, and they want to, you know, to be part of something that I do, not only economically wise, but also energy wise, which is very important.
And way deeper, for sure. Is there anything else you wanted to share, like on this topic? I feel like we covered a lot. But
I think we can wrap up. So, kind of, what would be your wrap up?
What would be my wrap up? I mean, folks. Like really, I really encourage you to give it a go. Right? Kind of, you know. Anything you need, kind of information, encouragement, accountability, like you have it. Just don't get, you know, we all know how hard it is when you just get caught in the hamster wheel of just, you know, grinding, etc. And it shouldn't always be like that. You know, startups are hard. Sometimes you need to work hard. Sometimes you need to like make sacrifices, but it's still important every once in a while to like recharge, right? And just next time you are thinking about vacation, you know, think about vacation through Vipassana. That would be my advice.
That's true.
And like, you know, recording this with you, like, and also writing this post, I also like immediately when I like on the last day, I felt like, that would be part of my also like serving to the cause. It's like, just spreading the word, just helping more people to get to it, right? So that would be my one.
Yeah, for me, like more and more I see the people who pass the course, at least one, or continue practicing meditation. More people around me like that, and it happens like randomly. I just find that I connect with some people. I don't know, maybe they've done Vipassana, but I want to work with them, do something, and I found, oh, they've done actually Vipassana. So because there was a reason, or maybe they want to make Vipassana. So there is something shared between people who do this.
Shared qualities, maybe, or beliefs, values.
Values, qualities, yeah. And to wrap up, I think, I also recommend definitely having this experience to everyone. And if you have some fears, you can think about, well, you go through those fears, you go into those fears. How many fears you have when you do the startup and you act as a brave person? In the long run, it's very important in the long run. So if you're an entrepreneur, you're probably looking for yourself to stay in the game for a long period. And 10 days, it's not that much in a year or in several years. It's not that much, but you will benefit so much in your long run. And especially for, I think, investors, it's also important to, if you look at the founders who have high risk of burnout, and this is one of the major issues of early stage startups shutting down: conflicts, burnouts. People stop liking the project or questioning the project they work on. They're just not connected with themselves. They don't know if they can stay calm and and not react and not create conflicts. Not conflicts, but not create this mess in a startup. And those who can do that, who can more awareness on themselves, in my opinion, they will create more sustainable development of the business, of the startup, of the people around in the long run. So, and that's important for both parties, investors and founders.
Yeah.
So,
couldn't agree more. All right. Cheers, guys. See you next time.
See ya. Thanks.